Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something near and dear to my heart. I have two daughters now. I don't know if the Lord has decided that my fiance and I are finished having kids. If we do, and I ended up popping another girl, I want my kids to be able to look back and look on these videos if they have any questions about things that I did or things that may help them as they, get older and transition from, baby to girl to preteen to teenager. Um, as a mom, I take that responsibility very seriously because with them being females, I am their first example of what a woman, confidence, of security, self-respect. I am their first example when they wake up and when they go to bed. And so I kind of want to just kind of talk. And if they ever have any questions or anything like that as they get older, hopefully they can look back and like maybe some of these things that I've talked about hit somewhere and hits a chord and they can relate or they can use it to make decisions or whatever. Well, one of the things I want to talk about today is confidence, where mine came from, because I used to be one of the most insecure women. I grew up, I talked about this a little bit on my channel. I grew up with a lot of siblings, 7. We are all adopted from foster cares across the country, which made it really cool because we weren't feeling like we had to compete with biological children. But the thing that did kind of really get to me was the fact that like I felt really odd and out of place. All my other siblings, there were 3 other girls, and then there's me, so there were 4 girls total. My other 3 sisters were like serious girly girls, and I was not. In fact, I was a tomboy, a huge tomboy. I think my mom told me as I got older that she contemplated whether or not I was going to be gay or I was going to be a lesbian. I was just such a tomboy. And like a lot of girls are like, oh, they're a tomboy too, but they kind of still showed a little bit interest in minute girly things like earrings, or showed minute interest in girly things like as I got older, wanting to practice different hairstyles, being interested in practicing different hairstyles, or things like that, being interested in like what the new fashions were and all that kind of stuff. And I was so insecure because I had these 3 other girls. Two of them were younger than me and my sisters, and one of them's older than me. But for whatever reason, I felt like the youngest in terms of experience, in terms of feeling like a girl. I just felt like so underdeveloped compared to other girls my age. And then I had all these 3 girls around me and that I grew up with who just seemed like the exact opposite of everything that I was. I loved sports. I still love sports. I'm obsessed with sports. It's one of the things that makes me the most happiest. It's one of the things most happy. I played basketball for 15 years, but it was just, it didn't matter. Like, even though I wanted to maybe explore what it was like, I wanted to maybe see myself dressed up in a nice outfit. I wanted to maybe like see if I could, I don't know, try and do something different with my hair. I just really still always felt like I was always in competition, or I was always going to be compared to my sisters. And my mother, like, kudos to her, she was never one to be like, oh, you're the pretty one, or you look good, or any type of like backhanded compliments where it was like, or passive aggressive compliments where it was like you're clearly trying to compare your daughters. None of that. She was really like really okay with, you know, where I was and the fact that I was a tomboy and let that be. But it was still something that I was just like, I'm never, ever, ever gonna be able to compete with my sisters. That was the pressure that I saw within me. And then as I got older, I was still interested in guys. I was still interested in the opposite sex. I was not, interested in females, but I always was just like, I have 3 girls here that I'm comparing myself to. And I always just knew I was going to lose. So I was just like, there's like no point in even like trying to present and put myself together and like make it seem like I gave an effort that I tried, because all these guys are going to do is like look at all 3 of my other sisters, and like, of course they're prettier than me, they're more put together than me, and it comes with such ease for them. It was very difficult for me to just even figure out a shirt and a pair of pants that like matched with. And so like on top of like matching with like the clothes, it was the hair. So all of my sisters, I mean every single one of my sisters, if you cut their hair tomorrow, their hair will grow double, triple the length back a week later, 2 weeks later. Like that was another annoying thing about my sister. And they are not biologically, well, 2 of them are biologically related. One of them is not. But again, like I was the only girl in the house where if you cut my hair, first my hair hardly didn't grow at all. But I would see all these girls with just like long, thick, full hair that would get their hair cut. Like they played around with their hair, and so they would do things with their hair, and it didn't matter. Their hair would still grow. And so that was another thing that I just felt so insecure about and so like just not confident about. And so I would always get braids in my hair. So I had micros in my hair from the time I was in 3rd grade until I was a sophomore or junior in college. I had micros from 3rd grade until I was 21, I think. Like, just like really just an exorbitant amount of like overdone hairstyle. So I did that. And then I'm trying to get this transition down. So I had micros. I mean, and the entire time all of my sisters they had braids, and then they started to try and do like the weave, where it was just the sew and weave. So my mom would braid up my sister's hair, and we would each take turns like sewing in each other's like weave. Or if we wanted to do, a quick weave, we would do the glue. So while my sisters are practicing, like learning different styles of hair, I'm just like, again, so insecure, so just not confident about who I am. Just thinking like micros were the only thing that I could wear. I was like, natural looking hair doesn't look good on me. I was like, first of all, my hair doesn't grow. So like all of my siblings, again, had hair down their back, and here I am with like hair like up to here. I was just like, just put micros in. Unbeknownst to me and like the rest of the Black community, micros rips out your hair. So, fast forward past college, I got my first serving job at Hooters. And like, I love Hooters so much. Hooters will always hold a special place in my heart. And it's crazy that I'm talking about this, like, and how like if my girls look back on this, it's gonna be like, what helped give you self-confidence? And Hooters did, and it really did. I love Hooters to this day. I worked there for almost 4 years. One of my best serving jobs ever. I love that job. I could not heart it any more than I already do. I could not think any more highly of it. And one of the reasons why is because of what it gave me as a woman and as a female. Everybody knows, well, not anymore. They've changed their standards, and they've changed what you're allowed to do in there. Like, it's almost a complete 180 now. When I was working at Hooters, back in like 2014, 2014 or 15, yeah. You were not allowed to wear your hair up in a ponytail. It had to be down. You had to have come in with makeup done. Makeup included eyebrows, lashes, eyeshadow, foundation. You had to have an earring on. You had to look glammed up. Like, that was one of the Hooters like mission statements, was just like, your this is how you're going to present yourself to the public every single shift. I don't care if it's a morning shift. I don't care if it's a Sunday morning. I don't care if it's a Monday morning. If you walk through those doors, you need to be ready. And I loved sports, and so I was just like, this is a perfect job for me, because I can like shoot the shit with dudes and talk about sports until I'm blue in the face, and I can like really make some money, because I had never really had cash on me the way we could really carry around with servers. So Hooters, that was when I first started wearing wigs, because I took my hair out and I had like missed an appointment or something like that, and Hooters ended up calling me back and saying that they wanted to interview me, and I had to go to the wig store in Tri-County, and I had to get a wig, and that was back in 2011 or 2011, 2012 ish, or maybe even 13. I'm not sure. It was back in the early 2010s. But that was, I got a wig and I put a wig on, and that was what I showed up with. And then they ended up hiring me, and training got like moved around. And anyways, it ended up happening where my training got pushed up. One of the girls there that I used to work with, she was like the first Black Hooters girl that was, I guess, had won like the Hooters pageant. And so our general manager and manager ended up flying with her, so they had to push everything around in terms of like a new batch of girls that they were bringing in for training, because they had not expected this. It was, like I said, it was really precedented. It was a really big precedent with her being the first Black Hooters girl to win the Hooters competition. So everything ended up getting pushed around, and like our training dates got moved up, because they wanted, I guess, the new manager coming in, or the manager on deck coming in, wanted new girls trained in case, like, I guess, more eyes were coming to that location. So I ended up having to skip my hair appointment or miss my hair appointment, and I had to put hair on. So I went to the mall and I bought my first wig, and like that's what started it off for me, because I was forced by the Hooter standard to have my hair done. And it was like, it's not even about, I had to look myself in the mirror and be like, it's not even about competing against other girls for what you look like. At this point, it's about holding a job so you can make money. And then over time, day in and day out. Now, when I first started wearing wigs at Hooters, I had no idea how to wear them. I had no idea what color looked good with my undertone. I didn't even know what undertone was. I didn't know that there was like body wave, ocean wave, different types of curl patterns. I didn't know that there were different lengths, but I didn't know that 1B30 was like dark root with like low light blondes mixed in. I didn't know what 99J was. I had no idea what 27 was. I knew what 1 and 1B and 2 was, because when I got my braiding hair, when I got my micros, I only got a 1 or 1B. So I knew that. I knew that a 2 was dark brown. Other than that, that's it. Like, I didn't know what 613 was. I didn't know what like a 613, 627. I didn't know that you couldn't take a curling iron to like a synthetic wig. Found that out. I didn't know what lace fronts, a frontal versus a closure was. I didn't know any of that. There was no like plucking or anything like that. Like all of this stuff that is so detrimental to like the units we pick out now, it was all just You go there, you buy a wig. And like I said, I was so insecure when it came to my hair. But ladies, when I say like, when you look in the mirror and like you want to figure out who you are, and you want to be able to present your best self in public, you have to go through the trenches. You have to crawl before you can walk. And Hooters gave me that space. Like I just said, I didn't know anything about wigs. I didn't know anything about hair. I didn't know anything about how to do hair. And I was still training, so I wasn't able to bring home any cash or anything like that. So like, and I didn't know how to do hair. So after the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 days of wearing the wig, it would get like matted up and stuff, right? Because it's synthetic, it would get matted up. And I would have to save it, comb it out. I learned real quickly whether or not I could have any type of like heat on it, but I had to like save the unit, because until I started working and making cash. And then once I started making cash every day, then I mean, when I tell you I was in this hair store every single day getting a new wig. Every single day. A shift would go by and I'd be like, oh, time to go get a new wig. Time to go get a new wig. Time to go get a new wig. And that is how I taught myself, like, you can wear different hair. You can look beautiful in different hair. You can walk past a mirror and you can have confidence in like different hair. And I was so excited because I wasn't in braids anymore. And again, like, this isn't even about like the attention of the opposite sex. Was about like me feeling comfortable standing next to my sisters and feeling like I wasn't embarrassing them when I stood next to them, because I didn't have any type of confidence whatsoever. But it took me working at Hooters to be able to be like, okay, well, screw that. Who cares? You know that you don't have confidence. You don't. Fake it till you freaking make it, because right now it's about whether or not you're going to get paid, whether or not you're going to keep your job, whether or not you're going to be able to pick up these different shifts, because they're not going to put you on the floor if you don't know how to present yourself, if you don't know how to. Now, it wasn't like you need to do like professional glam makeup like they have now. No, it was just like, you need some foundation, you need some concealer, you need your eyebrows done, you need your lashes, if you mascara on, and you need to look like you're going on a date. Like, you haven't seen this man before. What is your best self that you want to present? And that's what I had to do. And in order, because I loved working at Hooters, it was so much fun. It was the best time of my life. Like, I was best. I mean, I used to work at Texas Roadhouse, so I love Texas Roadhouse. I love the company. I love the people that I worked with. I love my boss that I work for. It's like Texas Roadhouse and Hooters are just like they are some of the really great loves of my life when it comes to working, because Hooters got me prepared in terms of being a really bomb ass server. And then like once I got to Texas Roadhouse, it was just kind of just like, you want to talk about making money. Whew, as a server, oh my gosh, you can make some bank at Texas Roadhouse. But anyways, my confidence level, I had to fake it until I make it. And when I see like, if my daughters look at this and my daughter's ever just like struggling with how they look, it's just like, you have to do the work. It's not some easy fix. I didn't just like wake up and decided, oh, I'm confident. No, I was around really beautiful women at Hooters. I was around girls who were experienced in what they looked like, who were experienced, in my opinion, of being a girl, being a girly girl. I was around girls who loved doing their hair and makeup, who loved, getting up and like choosing an outfit. I was around girls at Hooters who I'm sure were very, very, popular with other men because of how they looked like. And I'm talking about just like facial features. Like, I was around girly girls at Hooters who enjoyed going shopping and stuff like that. And I was embarrassed. Absolutely. I was thoroughly embarrassed. I know I didn't fit. I knew I didn't fit, but I liked the job. The girls were I was able to learn from the girls. I was able to look at them, see what worked, see what didn't work. And I was making money. And so, like, if my daughters, like I said, my daughters watch this, like, I want them to know that, like, confidence, it's showing up every day, even if deep, deep, deep down, you don't feel like you belong. You don't feel like you deserve. You don't feel like you're worthy. I felt all of those things walking around in my orange shorts. But I knew what it was doing for my life, even though it was very painful. Like I said, I know that I didn't belong. I know I didn't feel worthy. I know I wasn't comfortable. But going through those years at Hooters, being around females who didn't know me, who didn't feel like any obligation to want to like me or love me like my sisters did, just showing up and doing their job, they have no idea what they did for my life. Hooters has no idea what it did for my life, because I was able to really, on top of make good money, I was really able to, that was the first time I was able to get away from my braids. And I had to do the work. I had to learn how to make myself look presentable. I had to fight to be confident. I had to fight to be confident even on days when I didn't want to. I had to get up early, and I had to learn how to do my hair, and I had to learn how to style my hair. And it was hard work, but it can be done with work. And so, like, confidence for me is just truly just all about knowing, like, you where you've been, and at the end of the day, knowing what you've been through and what the work that you've put in to get yourself there. Like, I don't know if my girls are gonna look in the mirror and be confident. I hope they are. I hope that they don't have to experience what I went through, because it was really painful and it was really lonely, and there wasn't, like, the YouTube and the internet out like nowadays, where you can, if you want to see what a 613 looks like against your skin tone and undertone, hell, there's like 4 or 5 or 6 different blondes just for dark skin blondes. I mean, just for dark skin girls now. And I didn't have that growing up, so I had to really just, like, fight through the embarrassment of, like, trying on different colored wigs, and oops, oh well, this doesn't look good on you, but you're out of time, so you gotta go just wear it and act like you're Naomi Campbell walking down those streets. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I want my daughters to feel confident about who they are. And sometimes it really is just about faking it till you make it. And that's what I did. And just knowing that there's another side. There truly is another side. You will get to the end of it. And I want them to know that they have me. But if for whatever reason they don't have me, I want them to have each other. And I want them to hopefully just lean on each other. And, they're both biracial kids, and seems like they might have the same hair texture. As of right now, Adriana's hair texture is a little bit on the silkier side than Natalie's. But Adriana's still a baby. So that's how Natalie's hair was too when Natalie was a baby. So, just I want them to be confident. I want them to know that if they don't feel that way, it's okay. Their day is coming. Their time is coming. You just got to keep going. You just have to keep going. And I feel my most confident in wigs. Now, I've done every freaking hairstyle. I've had my head shaved. I've had my head shaved and dyed dyed blonde. I've had micros, like I just talked about. I had crochet, what they call it crochet now. It used to be called latch hook back in the day, but it's called crochet now. I had that. I tried the sew and weave. It does not work for me. I've done wigs. I've done closures and lace fronts. Closures and frontals. I've had corner. I literally have had every freaking hairstyle, like to the point where, like, I'm bored now. Like, I'm just like people do the big chop. I've done that so many times, like so many times. I'm 32. I did the big chop. First time I did the big chop, I was 24, I think, was the first time I did it. I was sick of like trying to deal with my hair underneath my wig, and I think my brother had just been killed, and so I was like, we'll cut all my hair off and dye it blonde or something like annoying and obnoxious. But and then I got sick of I still in the beginning when I started wearing wigs, I had put so much emphasis on like learning how to look good in wigs and learning how to feel confident in like my wigs, that I neglected my actual hair underneath, because I was just like, that's a whole other journey that I've got to go down, is learn how to do like my actual hair. So I would just like braid my hair up, or in like really horrible braids, because I didn't really know how to braid like that back then. Or I would just like leave it and like just clump it all together, and because again I didn't really have a lot of hair because my hair doesn't grow, and I would just like knot it up in like a small bun and just like leave it like that. But I want my daughters to feel confident, and that's that's more of like what I want to get with this video. It's like, if that means faking it till you make it, you will eventually make it. You will eventually make it. And so, yeah, there is no secret to being confident except for just looking in the mirror and telling yourself that, like, you're enough. You're good enough. And I know that it sucks. And I know that they're going to grow up in a social media age that we weren't privy to. We weren't pressured to. Not everything is documented. Not everything is like out there. And they're going to grow up differently. And so I want them to have these roots already like secured deep down. And like I said in the beginning of this video, it starts with me. It starts with me. I'm the first example of what a confident, secure woman should be. And so I'm hoping to just like, if you need a message, if you need, a word of advice that's not your parent, that's what this video is for. Be confident, look in the mirror and tell yourself you're enough, even if you don't feel it, because I'm telling you, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it for years, and I still went out there and I still did it. I still did it. I bit that bullet and I did it. Now, money was a very, very good reason as to why, because I was making bank, but I still didn't feel like I was good enough. Today, I feel like I'm good enough, but I've walked through the trenches, and sometimes that's just like, that's it. That's the answer. You gotta walk through the trenches to get to the other side. So this is a really long video, but thank you guys for watching. And if you need any other words of advice, just put it down in the comments. Subscribe. That's another thing I forgot to do.